So welcome back, and in the first segment, we told you about this story that I just have come to know about, although it's something that's been going on for a while, a little over a month now. And on the phone today, we have Frank Barnes, who is an old college friend of Pat's and has worked with the business in the past. And we also have Pat Allocco, the concert promoter, who has been detained in Angola. And we have him on the phone. I tell you, the technology today is absolutely incredible. We can sit here and have a conversation with Pat, who is in Angola and can't get out, right on the phone. Gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Pat, you're in Angola right now, and tell us. I think I saw somewhere. Are you in a hotel there? How are you being detained right now?
Correct. We've been since New Year's Day. We've been in what we refer to as de facto detention, and we've been under, for the most part, house arrest here in Luanda, Angola, and we've been in 2 different hotels in the past month.
Oh, my goodness. All right, I want to get more into the story in a moment, but Frank, I want to bring you in here, and I want to thank you for making the connection. As I've mentioned to the listeners in the first segment, John Deegan's an old friend, and John was an instructor for both Frank and Pat at Mount St. Mary's. And so John got a hold of Frank, and Frank and I talked, and Frank got us in touch with Pat. So, Frank, thanks for taking care of all of this. And I think that you've had something to do maybe with the Facebook page and all that kind of stuff. And I guess we should tell folks that there is a Facebook page that people can visit and like and keep up to date with things. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Frank?
We call it Free the Alloccos. It has about 202 friends now, or likes. I'm not very technical myself, but it's getting a lot of response. And we put updates there from Pat, his morning or afternoon message.
Sure.
We don't put everything up there because some of it's confidential,
right,
as it relates to his work with his attorneys in Angola.
Sure.
But it's generated a lot of interest. Pat has a lot of friends, and his wife has a large family, so it's expounded dramatically from family to college friends and beyond.
Okay, great. And let's just, while we're there, let's tell the listeners that if you are a Facebook member, you can go to, you just put in your search bar, Free the Alloccos. It's ALLOCCOS. Free the Alloccos. And you can get right there. You can like the page and see what's going on. Pat, I guess we really need to know what happened. You are a concert promoter, and you were promoting a concert in Angola, and something happened with the money situation. Well, why don't you tell us in your own words what happened that got you where you are today?
Sure. We were promoting an act, a rap act by the name of Nas, and an opening act by the name of Jeremiah J., and who were supposed to perform on New Year's Eve and then a second show on New Year's Day. I flew down on the 30th. I left on the 29th. I got to Angola on the 30th about 11 o'clock at night. And when I got off the plane, my son, who had been here for about 4 days, informed me that the act hadn't boarded the planes back in the United States, and they weren't going to arrive in Angola. I knew at that point there was no way that the act could possibly make it there in time to perform for New Year's Eve. So we knew we had a problem on our hands. And that's when the story began.
So maybe it doesn't matter, but why didn't they board the plane? I mean, they just decided not to do the concert?
Yeah, they were paid in full for the performance, and indeed they actually performed on New Year's Eve at a party for LeBron James down in South Beach in Miami.
Oh wow!
So they managed to get to Miami and perform there. I don't know. I can't answer why they didn't get on the plane. They were paid. They had tickets. Their claim is that when they got to the airport, and we weren't responsible for flights, the promoter down here was, that the return tickets weren't there, and that's why they didn't board the plane. Whether that's the truth or not, I don't know.
Right.
But that's the excuse that they gave us.
Wow. And so you mentioned the Angola promoter. Now, who is that?
A gentleman by the name of Riquinho from Casablanca Entertainment.
Okay.
And he's the one that reached out to us to book the show. And we're normally concert promoters. In this capacity, we were more brokers in the deal. We were sort of a middleman in the middle agent in the transaction, and we were buying it and making helping with the arrangements. We were coordinating the event, and then we were bringing it down to Angola for the local promoter. And the local promoter is the person that had us. Well, he didn't have us arrested. He had us detained by the authorities, and then opened this criminal investigation. It would be the equivalent of our citizen's arrest if we made a citizen's arrest against someone. So we were never formally charged by the government, and we still, to date, have not been charged with anything.
But they're still holding you. And the Angolan government has not gotten involved in this situation?
Well, they have. They've been in the middle of it from the beginning. The police and the public prosecutor has been, they're in charge of the investigation, and we've already had a hearing about 2 Thursdays ago, and it was decided then if we had returned $300,000, and then there were some contractual discrepancies with the balance of what was owed, that we had time to settle, and then we could pay that up to a year when we got home. We complied with all those terms, and yet we're still not able to leave.
Wow. All right. So let's step back a second. Now, you said your son is involved as well. How old is and his name is Patrick as well? Yes.
Correct. He's 22 years old, and he'll be 23 on St. Patrick's Day. So I sent him down. I sent him ahead to advance the show for us.
Sure.
And he was supposed to be here a week ahead, but because of issues with his visa, he had to stay in Lisbon for a few days, and he got here on the 27th of December.
Yeah. All right. So he's there ahead of you. You get there. You find out that the act hasn't gotten on the plane, and in fact, they're not going to be coming at all. That's got to be a sinking feeling when you hear something like that.
That's the best way to describe it. It was a very sinking, especially when we don't speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
And everyone around you, there's no English down that at the time. There was no one around us speaking English.
Wow.
So we had no way to even convey this message to the local promoter.
Oh, man. And does the local, would you say, is Riquinho? Riquinho, is that his name? Riquinho.
Pronunciation.
And he doesn't speak English?
No.
Yeah, so he works through a translator or whatever.
Correct.
Okay, so you get off the plane, you find this out, and then what happens? Are you detained immediately?
No, our passports were actually, because we didn't have proper visas provided by the promoter, they took our passports at the airport, and they took our address down where we were staying, and they were going to return the passports with the stamped visas in them. That never happened. They ended up confiscating them. What did happen is we were originally taken to meet Riquinho. It was the first time I met him at their stadium here, and then we went back to the hotel. Mm-hmm. It was during that time that we were trying to figure out the facts, what happened, was the act, in fact, was anybody traveling, were they not traveling? We were trying to determine what was going on and really get a handle on it. So, and this is around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. We're on the phone with the managers for Nas, trying to, what's going to happen here? Are you going to reschedule?
Right.
Are you going to move the dates? What remedies do we have here?
Right.
So that's what we did all night, and I did not sleep that first night at all.
Wow. So then what happens? A knock on the door, or does Riquinho come in, or what?
No, it was much more dramatic than that. We were actually during the night, we were in we called the emergency hotline at the U.S. Embassy, and we were told to go get passport photos taken around town, somewhere around town. It was a Saturday morning, so the embassy wasn't open. They don't open on Saturday, but they opened up for us. So they were going to meet us at 9:30 in the morning at the embassy. So we asked at the front desk for car service. They gave us a car. The car drove us to a location and stopped the car, and the driver got out. My son and I didn't like the feeling. We got out of the car. We were trying to grab our bags and run. Where to, I don't know. But we were then surrounded by about 20 or so people. Some of them had AK-47s.
Oh, my goodness.
They grabbed us. They told us to wait, and they're holding us, and they literally threw us in another vehicle, SUV, and they took us away. And there were several cars, and they ended up bringing us to a local police precinct.
Wow. That's like from a movie, Pat.
Yeah, we refer to it as the Black Hawk Down scene. They're very similar.
Wow. Wow, that is dramatic. All right, so then so these are not officers. I think you mentioned kind of a citizen's arrest. Are these friends of Raquino's or colleagues?
They were, I don't know if we can call them security for Raquino or friends or what you can call. I don't think I think there was a crowd is what there was, and that crowd surrounded us. And when that happened, when I saw it going down, I called the embassy and I said, "We're being taken," and I left the phone open so that they could hear the entire ambush and abduction.
So the embassy was on the other end listening to what's happening?
Correct.
Wow.
And at that time, they told us, we're dispatching our security detail right now to look for you.
All right, gentlemen, hang on. Can you guys hang for another segment? We're up against the clock. We've got to take a commercial break.
Sure.
All right, folks, stick around. More of this amazing story here on Review Preview after these messages.